everyone, and welcome again to the English Shooting live stream here in the Bluefield Sports Gunroom, and I am of course joined with Connors from Magload. How are you? Hi. I thought I left you on mute then. So tonight is going to be all about giveaways. As you can see behind, there's a lot of stuff.
All the things.
All the things. We've got the Magload giveaway as well, but we're going to leave that for later on in the night. So I know last time that we had a few issues with the audios, with the new setup that we had, so please let us know how we're sounding. If there's any issues during the stream, please do just ping a message or a comment in the comment section below, so then we can try and adjust it.
We did spend like almost an hour testing and tweaking the audio beforehand, so if you're not happy with this,
we've tried really hard, and probably saying that right about now loads of people are going to start saying that you can't hear us, but yes, we always try our best to make sure that the stream is as clear for you guys as possible. So getting into the past few weeks in the gun industry, gun community, there's a lot that's happened. I think most noticeably is the Virginia protest, or the march and rally out there. Obviously this comes after there being all these calls for further firearm restrictions and registration and confiscations out there, and I believe it was 50,000 people, something like that, a huge amount, ended up descending on West Virginia. It was West Virginia, wasn't it?
I don't recall. I think it's Virginia in general.
Yeah, or Virginia. They ended up doing this rally and protest in support of the Second Amendment, and the one thing that absolutely, well, it doesn't amaze me, it doesn't even shock me really, but something that really does drive home the sort of people that firearms enthusiasts are, is that you had 50,000 armed people in a passionate people about what they're doing in a confined space, and no one was hurt, no one was arrested.
As a matter of fact, the press were trying to make some of the members of the press were trying to make a bigger thing of it than it actually was, because there was one reporter caught throwing spent shells onto the ground.
No, I saw that. It's
just to take photos of it.
They will try everything, and then they were trying to brand it as this white supremacist march. But literally every photo you can see of it, there's every colour of person you can imagine. So it was great that went smoothly. It was a great representation for the shooting community and the industry out there, so an amazing turnout, and a very big well done to everyone there. Some more UK centric news.
So I think we're going to move on to a slightly Beretta heavy segment of the live stream. First of all, let's talk about Gunroom TV.
Absolutely. So Connors did a review, a first look. We were actually the first in the country to have the new 1301 Con.
We actually had to.
Do you want to grab the gun?
Yeah, we actually had to sit on it for quite a while, waiting for the embargo to be lifted.
Yeah, there was an embargo, so we'd been out and filmed with it and got the video done, and as soon as we were told to release it, we did. And Beretta, the main Beretta page, actually shared the Gunroom TV video on it. So Connors is probably even more famous than I am now. He's taking over.
It stands to reason. I mean, English shooting has grown leaps and bounds since I came into it.
Yes,
we're just going to rename this to the Connors Shooting channel, I think.
The Magload Shooting.
Yeah.
So
just bin this sap off.
But all that causes trouble anyway. So
in addition to Gunroom TV being spotlight front and centre on Beretta's Facebook page, which has over 1 million likes. We recently put up some pictures of a port job we did for a customer. So this is a customer who asked for the deepest cut possible on their 1301. Now, realistically, because it's a professional business, we can't do the deepest cut, because that would involve thinning the receiver right down and significantly shortening the life of the gun. However, what we have done is take this really deep down here, scallop the handguard and the trigger guard here, as well as tuning the shell latch.
Well, I think later on you're going to take that over to the healing bench, although I'm sure this gun doesn't need any healing at all.
No.
And give a closer look at all the ins and outs. But in terms of the 1301, there's been quite an important announcement.
So if you want to see this on the healing bench a little bit later, do let us know. We are watching your comments right now.
But yes, there was a British shooter who's very prominent on the practical shooting scene, both in the UK and internationally. Somebody called John Jennings.
Now, it's not somebody. It is John Jennings.
It is John Jennings. And putting it into context, when Connors did the deep dive video on the Gen 2 1301, you called John and he was very helpful in giving tips and tricks of the gun.
When I wanted to know some bit more of the history of the gun and some more pointers that I needed to show you guys in the disassembly video, I am not an expert necessarily, so John was the person I called. He is a wealth of knowledge on the gun. He has been shooting 1301s for donkey's years, doing extremely well with them, and I am really pleased that he's got this sponsorship. He's the first ever Beretta sponsored shooter in the UK.
So this is the announcement, and we're going to put a picture up for you now, if it's there.
He's looking very happy with his nice new gun.
So that's actually at GMK, and this was announced on the GMK Facebook page that he has been sponsored by Beretta, and as Connor said, the first UK Beretta sponsor. So a huge congratulations to John. I know he's going to do not only Beretta proud, but he's going to do the UK proud as well on the international scene.
But you think that was a deep port cut? You wait to see what he's going to do to that thing, because he'll be getting rid of most of the receiver on the underside, making it very, very slim for nice fast quad loads.
From what you've said to me previously, he's had enough experience, because at one time I think you said he had 5 1301s.
Something like that, yeah. He told me he had 5 1301s in various states of repair.
I mean, once you find a gun that you like, I mean, I guess you stick with it, don't you?
Hey, I mean, I've worn out my Supernova and I've gone for another Supernova. It's, you know, you shoot what you know.
But yes, we are neglecting the comment section a little bit.
I'm not.
As always, guys, if you've got any questions or there's any particular topics or guns that are here in the gun room and you want us to get them out and show you more, please put your questions in the comments section and we'll get round to them.
Yeah. So Benjamin Clark says, do you reproof them after altering them? So if the customer buys the gun, it is their gun, so we modify it for that customer's use. Does not require reproofing. However, if the customer wishes to sell the gun or give it back to us for resale, then it needs to be reproofed. But whilst it is the customer's gun, they own it, then we do the work on it and it doesn't require proofing.
And that's something I always found quite interesting, is that you can effectively do a lot of modifications. We'd always recommend that if you do anything, you know, pressure bearing, and you fiddle with the barrel and all that, you would have it.
That's actually, I think I know where you're going with that.
Yeah.
If you modify something pressure bearing,
yeah,
it needs to be reproofed no matter what.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
The receiver is not pressure bearing, which is why it doesn't need to be reproofed.
That makes perfect sense, because otherwise you can have people just chopping things down. But
yep.
I have heard of people doing it, and there's the old trick of where they put the proofing mark on the barrel. So if it's at obviously the breech end and you end up taking some inches off the barrel, no one's really ever going to know. But obviously it's a safety thing. You don't want to be going around with a gun that hasn't been proofed or tested. Something a little less cheery in terms of gun news, someone that I've been following for a long time and has been doing enormous good for the shooting community, is Taran Butler.
Oh, we're talking about Tarangate, are we?
We're talking about Tarangate. So I don't know how much what you know of the story, and actually there's not a huge amount out there other than these videos that have been posted.
It's a single video, isn't it?
Well, there's 3 videos, but it's one particular video where he ends up referring to one of his sponsored shooters, say, personal area as my precious. At
the end of the day, it's a very short video clip with zero context to it. We don't even know really when this video was taken. I mean, you sort of had a rough guess.
Yeah, there's not many facts out, and everyone's speculating. And we've talked about it at length here, because obviously Taran Tactical is very prominent within the practical shooting scene, and with the amount of exposure that he's generating with the likes of Lewis Hamilton, with Keanu Reeves.
That's the name you're trying to remember.
Well, and Halle Berry, and pretty much most A-list stars now are going to him for his training, for their training, and it's been doing amazing things for the sport as a whole, because it's been putting it into the mainstream arena, and it's just a little bit of a shame that he can't be completely faultless and there seems to be this little bit of a ditch. But we're not going to go. I don't think we're going to go into it anymore.
It's hard to give an opinion on the situation when there's so little known about it.
He's made a statement and has apologised, and he said, it's not acceptable, and he takes responsibility. I think the biggest question is actually how Jade, the lady in the film, has taken this.
But she's not said anything.
She's not saying anything. So, she could come out and say, well, no, I was giving as good as I get, or whatever. So we don't know. It would be wrong to speculate, but it's certainly something to keep an eye on, and we want to be able to defend the sport if it gets that bad.
I'm going to comment on Jethro's comment there. He's only seen 3 people shooting a 1301, excluding himself. There are a lot of good shooters out there shooting a 1301. Now, I know Jethro personally, but you've got to remember people like John Jennings and John Axe shoot 1301s. Must be a reason that they're choosing the gun.
Well, I used to shoot a 1301.
Well, you're not really a good shooter, so it doesn't matter, does it? He's laughing, but it's true.
The thing is that the 1301, when you compare it to the likes of the M2, hasn't been around for the same time.
Well,
the M2's been around for a lot longer.
It's been around in the practical scene a lot longer, sure. But the thing is, the 1301 is a gas gun, and the reason why people don't tend to choose it is it requires more maintenance.
It's
and
very
generally
fussy.
Will require some maintenance mid-match. And I think maybe from the effort perspective, you'd choose to go for an inertia gun, which doesn't require as much maintenance, especially during a match.
Absolutely, yeah. And I've heard stories. I never really experienced it myself, apart from I knew that it could never be too clean. If you cleaned it too much, if it was too clean when you went into a competition, you would have issues, and if it got too dirty, and there was definitely the sweet spot. But a competition like the World Shoot, where you are shooting continuously for
450 rounds over 4 days.
Yeah, you're going to have to be constantly monitoring that gun and know it inside and out, like counting your rounds, so that okay, you're at 200. I would say 100
That's
rounds.
not actually that hard to do. You know what the round count is for the stages.
But it's still in that sort of competition where so much is going on, and you've got to pay attention. You're in a new country, trying to find your stages and your accommodation, driving on the wrong side of the road. It's like another pressure to have to monitor your 1301 if it gets too dirty.
At the same time, when I work on a 1301, I always remark on how well made the guns are and how well designed they are. Yes, Beretta and Benelli are owned by Beretta as a group, but they are not made in the same place, and they are not made in the same way. Benelli is a lot of cast parts, a lot of cheaply made mass-produced parts. Now, whilst they are still high quality, they're properly heat treated and that sort of thing, you look at the finely polished bolt of a 1301 and the struts for the hammer, which I know is a failing point. It's still an excellent design for the hammer, because the hammer doesn't accelerate and slowly decelerate as it hits the firing pin. It actually continues accelerating until it hits the firing pin. It's good design. It's good engineering.
Jethro is, I think, completely agreeing with you, saying that he'd shot his 1301 for 7 years without failures, and only recently needing a replacement after dropping it. They are very, very well made guns, and I've always said that when I pick up a 1301, it just feels right. When you start operating it and playing around with it, it feels really, really good. And whilst the M2 is still a very good made gun, very well made gun, there's just something missing.
The thing is, the 1301 feels good for you because it comes out the box with a very short stock.
It's perfect. I love it.
So the thing is that will always make me choose an M2 over a 1301 is going to be the Comfortex stock. Now, Comfortex stock not only reduces recoil but helps the gun to shoot flatter. Now, I feel the new kickoff stock that's been installed on the 1301 Comp Pro is actually to the detriment of the gun, because it's pushing you more, it's giving you more kick. I don't know how to explain it. It's certainly something we noticed when we first started shooting it on the overview video, in the first look video.
Well, I think you even said it in the video. And ultimately, while it's still a very good gun and it's still a toss-up, I think I might be leaning towards M2 for when I get licenses.
He doesn't have a choice, and I'm building him an M2.
Well, he's going to build an M2. I might always have the option of having being able to switch back, but it is a toss-up. Unfortunately, Beretta missed the mark very slight, well, debatably slightly.
Beretta had a lot of input from a lot of shooters because they went round at the World Shoot asking a bunch of people what they wanted, and a bunch of people, John Jennings included, told them exactly what they needed to do to get the gun right. And
they didn't really listen.
They took 2 points, which are two important points.
Yes.
They fixed the double feed. And they made the lifter stay down. But that's a common modification that people did anyway. It's not anything unique or special.
But things like, you know, these race-ready guns, and everyone are still screaming at the manufacturers, remove more material, have a deeper cut, have a, you know, have a more open cut, and they're not really listening.
Well, the thing is what they've done is they've just used the same receiver as the old 1301, which is the same receiver as the A400. It's an off-the-shelf receiver that's tried and tested that they've used for a lot of guns. It has a port cut, which, as you see from the overview video, if you've watched it, I'm quad loading it quite comfortably. There's got no issues with it there. There is some slight geometry changes to the shell latch too, which does help. But it really does need to be opened up for proper fast loading. If you do watch the video, you'll notice whilst I'm quad loading it, I am not loading it quickly. It's
not like it would be with your Supernova.
Oh, Supernova, you just throw them in from a distance, you know.
and I've noticed that when I've tried the Supernova in the gun room, even a gun that I've never, well, I don't think I've ever shot a Supernova actually, getting the quad load in, and again, someone that's not that proficient with quad loading, it's just a very easy gun to quad load.
Loading mine when it is. Anyway.
Yes, yeah. Well, it's had loads of modifications.
Mine's got nothing left. We talk about thinning down the receiver on the 1301. I've done that almost to the death of my Supernova.
We've got a question from Aaron while we're talking about practical shotguns. What's your opinion on box-fed shotguns for practical shooting? Oh, we could upset a load of people on this one.
I'm going to say box-fed shotgun for practical shooting, great idea, because in open class you're not competitive unless you're shooting a box-fed shotgun. However, it is very, very easy to pick a bad open gun. There's a lot of new guns coming out which are, well, I don't really know what to say about them, but they come out, they look great, they just don't work. There are some proven guns out there. There is the Dissident KL12, which is based off of a Molot Vepper, which you can also get one of those stock, and they'll run very well. The Armsan RS1 is making a big showing on the UK practical scene at the moment. There are a lot of people having good results with the Typhoon F12, although I think it's
usually after a lot of modification.
After a lot of modification, I think there's a 50-50 hit rate on the Typhoon at the moment.
Depends if you get, you know, a Wednesday gun or a Friday gun. And then, of course, everyone knows of the UTAS, but as I think we've said before, the UTASs can be made to work fairly reliably.
I mean, there are 3 people winning competitions all of last year with UTASs. Now, bearing in mind there's not much left by the time Graham Guest has finished with one. But
I mean, I think ultimately...
Well, the only consistent gun across last season was actually Ben Ducker's KL12.
Well, yeah, and I was going to go straight into that unless you're going to go and spend £5,000-6,000 getting a KL12, I think getting into box-fed practical shotguns, you have to have some expectation that you're going to have to take it to a gunsmith. They're going to have to tune it in.
You could buy an Armsan RS1, slap a dot on the top and go to town, and
the controls aren't really suited, and
you can adapt to the controls.
Okay.
Now
I find the magazine horrible.
Oh no, that magazine is modification.
Okay, well, that's what I mean.
the magazines on the Gen 1s need a little bit of the lip filing off, but all the Gen 2s, which are the guns you're going to be able to buy right now, are absolutely fine. The biggest problem with the RS1 is finding magazines.
Well, yes, I think Richard at Practical Shooting Supplies, he has 50 on order.
50 on order with Highland Outdoors, and we are going to buy as many as they have when they left when they come back in. But
they're like absolute hen's teeth. And they do send the magazines for box feds always seem to be that they're either the root cause of the problems with the guns, or they are incredibly expensive. So I guess it's you get what you pay for. You're probably going to end up, seeing these guns like the Typhoon or even the UTAS at the £700-800 mark. It's a bit misleading because people go and buy them, they take it down the range that you expect to be the next, Jerry Michalak and shoot everything in sight, and then it's just bang click, bang click, bang click.
Well, Jerry Michalak shoots a 940 Pro, don't you know?
What's left of a 940 Pro. Again, that's something we discussed many, many times before. So again, keep your questions coming. David Kiddle, I think this is an important thing to to touch on because I saw that he posted today. So we've talked to the fact that in April we're going to be going out to Kentucky with American shooting trips.
Looking forward to it.
It's going to be awesome.
We're going out there. We're going to run some IPSC competitions, which is the main reason I'm going to be going, is to make sure they're IPSC. David's going to be running some 3-gun competitions.
On that note, I'm going to dash over and get the sheet because David was down here the other day.
Oh yeah.
And we were going over what guns we're going to have out there. So I'll just grab the post-it note.
So David's asked what shotguns what we're going to take out to Kentucky. I am, of course, going to take my Supernova because why would I take anything else, quite frankly? But he was down here a few days ago and we were talking about the plan when we go out there. He also dropped off a double R for us to do a review on. And he asked Callum a very interesting question. What did he ask you?
He asked, what full autos would we like to shoot out there? And usually when that question's posed to you, there's about 10 guns to choose from. So I was like, well, what's the pool of choice? David said, no. What full autos do you want? So there's a guy out there that has hundreds and hundreds of full autos, or class 3s as they're referred to out in the States. So I don't know if this is absolutely final, but the guns that I have requested, and we'll be making videos on each of them, is a Thompson, of course, the granddaddy of the machine gun, let's say, an MP5, a great another just standard, and bearing in mind as well that you've never shot a full auto.
I've never shot a fully automatic gun, not one that was meant to be fully automatic. Anyway.
Well, let's move swiftly on from that. So
I've shot broken guns, I've never shot an automatic gun.
So I thought, with Connor's never having shot a full auto gun, let's get like the 5 most famous ones to tick off the bucket list. So we've got the Thompson, the MP5, a Glock 18.
That is one that I'm really looking forward to shooting. Apparently there's a technique to shooting a Glock 18.
Yeah, hold on. Unless you have the beta mag, and then I think that helps you quite a bit. Now, we don't know, we were talking about this as well, that you can of course convert a Glock into an 18, but actually the original 18s with the selector switch are incredibly hard to get hold of, incredibly valuable. So we're actually waiting to see if they can get a Glock 18. It would be amazing if it is an actual bona fide, made from the factory Glock 18.
I'm going to guess it's more likely to be a conversion.
It probably is.
The thing is, I don't understand though, because surely if you've got a conversion kit, you'd be able to drill a hole in the side and install the selector switch too. No?
Well,
okay.
We might be able to find out for ourselves why you can't do it. I'm sure it won't take you long until you're taking everything apart. We've also requested a micro Uzi. Now I've had the pleasure of shooting an Uzi before, not in full auto.
It's a lot of submachine guns. I really would like to shoot a proper machine gun.
So something like an RPK belt fed.
That'll do it.
That would do it.
So about that.
we've requested an RPK belt fed and an M2 belt fed as well. You got to give the belt fed some love.
Why not a minigun?
Well, I think there's a certain budget for ammunition for the trip.
He said anything.
Yeah, minigun. I think shooting maybe 5 rounds out of a minigun doesn't really count. You can't make the full cylinder of ammunition. And the last gun, again, something that I haven't shot full auto, is an AK-47. So we're going to be very much looking for that. That's actually going to be the final day of the American shooting trip. So the trip is running. We're going out on the Friday. I believe it's Friday the 4th of April. Don't hold me to that, but it's around that date. We will be staying a night, I think, at
we don't need
Chicago.
to read them the full itinerary. There's a lot of writing on a small bit of paper.
But basically, the shooting begins on the Monday.
Yep.
You'll be shooting Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday,
so
and with Saturday.
Plenty of time to go and see shops and things like that. But so David told me this morning that he has 10 more spaces on the course. If you're interested in getting onto that, just contact David Kiddle. If you can't join us out there, we are going to be making a bunch of videos while we're out there, showing you all the fun we're having and why you should be there next year. And
it's not just us.
It's not even next year, actually. It's later this year, the next trip, isn't it?
Yeah, so there's one in, obviously, April, which we're going on, and then there's another trip to Kentucky in October. So if you like the look of the April trip and all of the videos that we put out, then you'll be able to go in in October or even the following April. But Neil from Rack and Load will also be in the car with us. We'll have Mr. Crap Magnet himself chauffeuring us around. He's going to be part of the crew. So there's going to be...
He has promised to take us to some amazing restaurants.
Well, we've sort of talked about all the food, and he said, well, you know, is there anything you won't eat? And I said, well, as long as it's great, and as long as it's not green, I'll eat it. But the one place...
We're not going to Area 51.
No, so I think we're going to be stopping. One of the main places that I want to stop, that I always go to when I go out to the States, is Buffalo Wild Wings. I absolutely love chicken wings.
You do like chicken wings?
I fucking love chicken wings.
I have seen him eat chicken wings, or inhale chicken wings before.
Yeah, love him. So we're going to go to a Buffalo Wild Wing, but we're also going to go to Cheesecake Factory.
We're going to Kentucky.
And we're going to Kentucky.
I want to go to a KFC.
Well, I might be able to help you with that, because there are reports that within the local area, there isn't just a KFC. There is an all-you-can-eat buffet KFC.
I'm in.
So we're going to be sharing all of that as well.
They won't know what hit them.
Please stop. We've run out of chickens. So yeah, it's going to be amazing. And again, it's not just a fun sort of mess around trip. There's going to be all of the structured matches and training and stuff like that.
So back onto the matches. So we've got IPSC matches. So I think it's going to be handgun, rifle, PCC.
Yep.
David's also going to be running some 3-gun. Well, the 3-gun match is actually going to be a big attendance match.
So I believe that the 3-gun match is not actually being run by American Shooting Trips.
Right.
It is a big 3-gun match that is out there while we're out there. And I believe there's something in the region of 200 entrants to it.
And that's American entrance to it.
Yes.
That's not including all of us
Yep.
novices that will be joining onto the back of it.
So that should be... I mean, I got my first proper taste of a 3-gun match out in Utah a couple of years ago, and it was the Emperor Strikes Back match.
What a name for a match.
Absolutely. Well, it's the re-invasion of the British Empire is how they did it. Yeah, the Americans wiped the floor with us. But what we saw was where people were travelling from. There were loads of Canadians making the trip down there. People from all across the world. You had people from New Zealand, Australia there, of course, all the Brits, even people from Ireland had come over. So it's a real international affair, and this is probably going to top that, being the biggest 3-gun match that I've ever shot in.
We'll be bringing you videos, the whole thing, showing you everything that's going on.
Yep.
And I'm sure if there is an all-you-can-eat KFC, we'll have a video of that too.
And we're
going to have to blur out my face as I'm stuffing chicken.
We're going to have to find your weight differential afterwards.
Weigh me before and after.
Yeah, see how much actually pound for pound you've consumed.
I'm estimating a 4.5 kilo delta.
Well, that's the goal. It's been set. It's been put out there. We're going to have to hold.
We're not leaving until I've eaten 4.5 kilos of chicken.
This might end very badly.
It will. I'm allowed to go and have a tactical chunder halfway through.
No, that's cheating. That's cheating. You lose with the tactical chunder. Daniel Smerald saying Ryan and Alex Florence should come. Absolutely, it would be amazing. I know that Alex has looked in terms of getting time off work for it. Ryan should just stop being poor. But yes, it would be amazing.
He's lower middle class.
Oh, he's lower middle class. Apparently.
We're not going to get into that joke because it's long and complicated. But if Ryan's watching, we salute you.
Apparently, having a 20k fountain in your driveway makes you middle lower class. But anyway, Ryan actually came out. I'm sure you all saw a couple of years ago out in Utah. So he's experienced the American Shooting Trips. Oh, and Ryan has joined the chat. Your mum told me to say hi. So David's saying Google Moonlight Barbecue. So I'm sure that's going to be another amazing barbecue stop off.
We're going to eat a lot of food. There may be some shooting involved.
Yes, we might.
Not at the same place. Maybe at the same place. Are they going to have a barbecue on the range?
They did in Utah.
Oh yeah.
Everyone started bringing everything down to the range. It was absolutely fantastic.
But Kiddle, since you're on here, minigun,
yeah.
Sort it out
from a helicopter. Hogs. I know they do that sort of stuff out in America. That is definitely the kingpin of the bucket list. It has to be a minigun. But you can shoot one in Vegas, but I think it was something like $1,000 for 30 seconds. And there was a lot of things that I could do in 30 seconds with $1,000 that I could probably top with a machine gun.
In Vegas, at least.
In Vegas, yes. Well, I was looking because one of the funny thing is I don't watch a huge amount of shooting YouTube. I watch a fair amount, but the genre of YouTube that I tend to watch a lot of
is yourself.
That would be shooting.
Well, you watch yourself a lot.
Well, yeah, because I edit myself. I watch a lot of you. I've probably over the past year.
He's a narcissist, really.
I've watched more of you than I have anybody else.
Ooh!
I am mentally scarred. But I watch a lot of car channels, and there's one called Daily Driven Exotics, and there's actually a place in Las Vegas that does really cheap car rental. So you can go and rent a Lamborghini, a Aventador, or a Huracan, or some sort of Ferrari for under $1,000. And I'm just thinking, 30 seconds with a machine gun, 24 hours with a Ferrari. Like, for me, I'm always going to go for
machine gun. Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one.
No, machine gun mounted to the Ferrari.
Done.
Definitely not going to break any laws. But anyway,
Chicken Ranch in Vegas, $1,000. Wow. Sorry, Tony Puccio made a comment about right at the bottom.
Yeah. Oh, there's some stupid stuff. Like, if you want to go and set fire to money, Las Vegas is the place to go, of course.
Yeah.
But
do we want to go over to the healing bench? Do you guys want to take a closer look at the 1301, maybe something else?
I was thinking of maybe drawing the Maglo, but let's tease you a little bit
more.
No, Let's go over to the healing bench.
Let's go over to the healing bench.
Although, we're just going to make sure we're all set up, we're all good. So Connors is going to go over to the healing bench. And as we were talking about earlier, we're going to go a little deeper into the 1301 and show you exactly what modifications that Connors has made. So let's join Connors in the healing bench.
Hey guys, so we're over here at the healing bench. Hopefully you can see the port job that we've done on this 1301. If I'm going to give you a bit of a close-up on that, we've got a very, very deep cut in here. You can see we've started to broach into that hole at the front there, and we've scalloped out the hand guards just here as well, just so that you don't catch your quads as you go over. The customer also specifically requested that we hollow out the trigger guard. Now the reason you do this is because it's normally rounded over the top. Your round skips off one way or another as you load. It doesn't need much, just a little something to guide the rounds in as we go. And finally, one of the last things we do here is modify the shell latch to make it easier to load. So let's pop this gun apart and we'll have a deeper look at the internals. If there's any questions you guys want to ask, fire away. Alex and Callum are monitoring the comments and they'll let me know what you guys are saying.
So we have a question from Paul Robertson.
Sure.
Why file by hand instead of using a mill?
Right, so we have many CNC mills, and the fact of the matter is there is geometry in here that we cannot access with a mill, especially right up in here, up inside the port. Also, we work on a lot of different guns, jigging each and every single gun up to be machined on the mill, and just drawing out the tool paths and making sure it's indexed for every gun takes a lot of time. It'd probably take me a couple of hours to do the tool paths for a gun, to set it up in the machine and to hit go, with the chance of writing it off completely. There is no stopping the big mill that I would use for this. There's no stopping it once you hit go. If you've made a mistake, it will rip the gun in half. Now, with hand tools, I can have much finer control over what I'm doing, and I can make sure that if I start going too far one way or another, that I can quickly recover it. You also cannot get a finish like that straight off the mill. That only comes with hand polishing, which is why it is the way it is. More questions? Anyone? I'm just going to start taking guns apart once I find the hammer.
Where's the hammer gone?
I'll use a different hammer. We've got a nice shiny hammer here. I'll use that one. So because this is quite a new 1301, the trigger group retaining pin is quite stiff. A little bit of persuasion and out it comes. So one of the things I love the most about the new 1301 has to be the stay down lifter. Now traditionally we have welded a lug onto this lifter. I've seen other solutions, such as people who have brazed on a piece of metal, some people who have actually drilled and tapped it and used a bolt to hold the lifter down, but now the lifter hold down is a stock feature.
So we have a question from Ben Ducker. How long does it take you to do the full job? So not just the cut, but all the other little bits that you do as well.
So we generally spend, well, I will generally spend 3 to 6 hours depending on the job. This particular gun was almost full 6 hours. It doesn't take long to get the rough cut done, because we can use a combination of mills and other tools to do that. But the actual shaping and filing, because there's a lot of file it, reassemble the whole gun, load it, see how it's loading, take it apart again. And when we load it, we try it lots of different ways. So I'll load it right-handed, strong hand and weak hand, left-handed, strong hand and weak hand, and just make sure that no matter what orientation I'm loading it in, it loads smoothly and quickly. Now, with a deep cut such as this, it's actually not as fast to load as something which was higher up and you had less receiver at the top here to catch your second quad on. You do tend to find the people who use 1301s a lot at high level in competition will thin the receiver right down to make sure that there's nothing at all that they can catch their second quad load on. But as you can see, I think Callum's zooming in on this port job here. It is quite a nice one, if I do say so myself. I am very, very happy with the way this one turned out.
Have you talked about the latch, about polishing the latch? And
yeah, so I don't know if you can quite see it in there. I'm not going to remove the latch because it requires drifting the pin out, which I don't really do on the stream. But we take the latch out, we reshape it actually. It's not just a polish. We take away this step that's normally on the inside here and then polish it out to make sure that there's absolutely nothing but a smooth ride as you chuck in quad after quad into the gun.
We've had a question from a couple of people around the same topic, Tony and Tom.
Yeah.
So Tony's just asked in general, how much does this cost? But also Tom's slightly expanding on that is, what should people budget for when they get a new gun on their, you know, what are they going to have to spend to get it up to spec, competition ready?
So first off, Bluefield Sports, because the work is done through Bluefield Sports, it's done by myself, but Bluefield Sports is the company that you'll book this through. They charge £250 all inclusive, and that is for everything, not just the port job. So we will do whatever you require to make this gun easy to load. This customer requested a deep port cut. Along with the deep port cut, we will tune a few things, including the shell latch. They requested the trigger guard to be hollowed, and whilst they requested the hand guard to be chamfered and cut, we would generally do that anyway, but we would ask you before starting to remove chunks out of the gun. This customer also asked if we could remove their mid bead for them, so of course that's easy enough to do, and that's all included in on the price. And because this gun is used, we also gave the gun a bit of a clean and a lube. So that's £250 for everything that needs to be done to make the gun easy to load. Expanding on Tom's question of what else would you need, well, you're going to need to buy yourself a rig, and if I go and grab a rig right now,
we're going to talk about
we'll talk about the rig in a bit, but
should we go back over?
Yeah, we'll head back over to the other side and we'll show you what else you might need.
So it can be, you know, fairly expensive getting all of the gear in practical shooting. Obviously, the gun is usually your main cost, and if you're starting right from the beginning, you're going to need your whole your safe and application and all that, and then there is the rig. So the rig can be, in some circumstances, as much or even more than your gun.
Well, it depends. I mean, if you bought an M3K, sure, it could end up costing more than your gun, but actually you don't need to spend that much to get started in competing. You've got your gun. We recommend doing some port work, but a lot of guns will be perfectly usable without it, but that's £250. And here we have, well, what is this?
I believe that is the giveaway.
All right. Shall we tell them who won it? Not just yet. So, included in this giveaway is the Magload Velcro competition belt, which is £90. You have a Nexus 12, which is £140, and the breech flag, which is a £5. You should always have 2 or 3 breech flags with you. The belt comes with the breech flag holder you see here,
which also doubles as a glasses holder.
Which also doubles as a glasses holder.
Not a lot of people, you know. No. Well, I didn't know. It took me months to work that out.
No, because some people will switch between different colour glasses, or they'll have sunglasses for when they're not shooting, clear glasses for when they are. So you can stow your glasses in there as well as your breech flag. But this rig is about £230, I think we worked out
in total. But this will get you started. Like ultimately, for IPSC practical shotgun, you're going to need a 12 and a 28, and that will see you through pretty much any eventuality.
Yeah.
But to get you started, to get training down at, if you have a section 2, certainly you're going to do fine with this. This is going to get you going, and I think that was very much the thinking behind the giveaway. So Maglode has been running a giveaway for the last 2 weeks to win this exact setup, a sort of beginner or an upgrade if you've already got some other brands rig and you want to upgrade to Maglode, and we're going to announce the winner
soon.
No, I think.
Have people been waiting long enough, do you think?
Have people? No, I think people have. They've been waiting 2 weeks. I mean, the reaction to that giveaway has been absolutely incredible. Thousands and thousands of people have.
Well, to be fair, when I was chewing over, well, actually, you suggested that when we do a giveaway post Christmas and all that, we're chewing over what to do. I was like, oh, you know what? We haven't done a giveaway for. We haven't done a giveaway for a belt, which is like the base for your entire rig. It's like having a tyre without cars. If you have having a car without tyres, if you haven't got a belt. But no, you said, why don't we do a full setup for a new practical shooter, because it is the start of the practical season coming up. So a loader, a belt. It's cost me a lot of money.
He's got to pay rent, guys. So he's given a lot up. So I think it's been long enough, and I have.
So we actually drew the winner earlier today. Karen's just looking up the actual name of the person we ended up drawing.
Well, I believe there is unless I actually forgot to put it in. So I'm gonna give.
Suspense is killing you, I'm sure.
We have a photo of the winner off of their Facebook page, and it was a public photo, so I hope you don't mind us using it. So I've just put that into the live stream folder. Alex?
It'll be coming up any second now.
And just thrown that at him.
And whilst we wait for the photo, we'll hold you in suspense over who won it.
Like drum roll. So he's going to find the photo. We're going to bring the photo up, and as soon as it comes up on the screen, we will give the name. Connors will get in touch. What we would absolutely love to see is for you to come down to the gun room and collect it yourself, and get a couple of photos with Connors, and even go out to the range and test out your new rig.
Hey, why don't we go?
No, I can't use that photo, sorry.
No?
No.
Okay.
Is it because it's a child?
Because it's a child.
Okay.
Okay.
No problem.
So
we will, we've built all that suspense up to nothing. The name of the winner is... Cut to commercial.
Congratulations to Paul Lewis. You have won the full belt rig. This is everything you need to shoot practical proficiently. I mean, this is a rig that, with another loader perhaps, you would take into the highest level of competition in the world. But it's still good for if you're just starting out, because you can set it up right-handed or left-handed. You don't need to choose. You don't need to buy 2 different loaders in order to do it. You've got the Velcro belt, which is adjustable for. It's got 2-foot range of adjustment.
And I did laugh at Connors when he was like, "I've got a few bits coming to develop a new belt." He opened up the box, and there was a seatbelt buckle.
Oh yeah, seatbelt buckle.
I said, "You've too many late nights, mate. You've absolutely lost it." Until you ended up the prototype, you'd stapled it to your belt.
I stapled it to one of the old really thick belts,
and it looked absolutely Frankenstein. I was going, there is no way this is going to be good. And then as soon as he started putting it on, and he was like, because obviously Connors is a little larger than I am, so I had to adjust it for me. But the way you can adjust it so easily, it's comfortable. It really is the best one, in my opinion.
I actually ended up losing count, but I tried to develop so many different types of completely bespoke belt buckles for the belt. I knew what I wanted. It needed to be quick to remove, quick to put on. It needed to be designed in such a way that you couldn't accidentally bump it and it come off. It needed to be really strong, because some of the best belt buckles are designed actually ended up breaking because the fatigue or the stress you can potentially put on one of these belts, especially if you catch a loader running into a bit of stage furniture. And it needs to be something that's intuitive and easy to use, because our first belt, which was based off of a weightlifting belt with a weightlifting buckle, a lot of people just couldn't get on with it because the amount of pressure that's required to hold the buckle closed. Everyone knows how to do that. And
Exactly.
I've had lots and lots of comments about the appearance of it, but not one single complaint about the use of it.
Well, the thing is as well with the seatbelt is how many times do you actually look at putting the seatbelt? You grab it and you click it in.
Yep.
And obviously you're doing it behind your back.
Clunk, click every trip.
Absolutely. And yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head with this one. It's a brilliant rig.
I'm going to talk a bit more about the belt as well.
Yeah.
Because there's a few misconceptions, because people look at it and go, oh, it's a weightlifting belt. So the shape is a weightlifting belt, like our previous version, which was actually a weightlifting belt, but this is completely custom construction. It's 6mm thick, it's cork and rubber construction, so it's weatherproof. We've done that for stiffness in this direction, but flexibility in this direction. The Velcro is glued and stitched into place, so it's going to last many, many years to come. And it's quality, genuine 3M Velcro as well.
We've got to think of some brutal destruction test to the belt to prove, you know, like tow a plane with it or something.
You give me a plane and I will tow it.
That's the statement.
But seriously, this is not a weightlifting belt. We kept the shape because a lot of people said, well, why didn't you make it taller and all this? The fact of the matter is, in IPSC competition, you're going to be contorting yourself into all sorts of positions. And for those of us with a slightly healthier gut, like me, having a wider belt actually restricts your mobility.
Yeah.
And actually, even for people skinnier than me, it does restrict your mobility having a wider belt.
Well, the thing is, the whole premise of a weightlifting belt is to keep you straight.
Yeah.
So you want to have that movement and flexibility, and that's what
this is the thing.
Really helps at the back.
I think this is why weightlifting belts are this width apart, is because they've figured out what the optimum width is for maximum support for you know, don't hernia themselves, and for flexibility. And actually, this is why we've gone for this width. Is we've also found that this is the width that works, but it's much thinner than a weightlifting belt. I also would never really recommend it being used as a weightlifting belt because this actually has a bit more compliance in it than a weightlifting belt does. They're meant to be held to hold you rigid. This is, as I said, rubber and cork. It's got a bit more flex to it.
So yes, huge congratulations to Paul Lewis. If you're not on the stream, then we will get in touch and again try and arrange a day that we can meet up and give you your new giveaway.
Yeah, it'd be great if you can come down. I'm more than happy to take you to the range and give you a few pointers if you don't already know how to use all this stuff.
So just catching up on the comments again. Keep your questions coming in. Keep the conversation flowing. Well,
they've seen who won the giveaway now. They're all going to be.
I've seen like our numbers have just dropped.
I didn't win!
I'm sure there'll be another giveaway soon.
You know what? I really enjoyed the response to these giveaways, but more so, we're trying to do giveaways that actually benefit people. So this is a new starter rig for the new season, and I want to carry on with that theme of doing things that are relevant and that will actually help someone out. I mean. Much to his behest, I would love to just give everything away to everyone.
Please
because
don't.
I want everyone shooting.
Again, you've got to pay rent.
I do have to pay.
So we've got a question from Jethro.
Gator tug. Tom said tow a gator.
No, tug of war with gators.
Tug of war with gators.
No.
This is...
Yes. Yes, tug of war with gators is happening.
In all fairness, they are his gators.
Well, technically the GTV gator...
Done! Tug of war with a gator in a tree.
Sorry?
Which tree do you not own? We're going to tug that one.
So yeah, we're thinking of something really harsh and fun to do to test that. But Jethro asked, is Maglode going to take their products to the USA to sell and market? Yeah, we were trying to get out to SHOT Show.
Yeah.
And trying to make that happen because
time.
It's time.
Right. Well, we have a few people helping, but it's not enough right now for us both to be able to leave the business. What we really want is we want to try and find a partner to help us take it to the States.
Yep.
So someone, a shop or a chain established already in the States that we can work with, someone that we can build a relationship with going forward as well. Ideally, someone involved in the competition scene. I think that's really what I would like to see.
Absolutely, and not forgetting that there is a number of orders that go out to the States because Magload does have international shipping.
Oh yeah, we ship plenty of stuff to the States, but I think I would really like to see, like we have in the UK, we've got like a network of shops that all stock the stuff. I want to see that out there as well.
And a lot of the Magload dealers as well they know you personally, they know the products really, really well, and when someone's asking about them, it's not like, oh, you know, I've got these on the shelf because this is what everyone uses. It's like, no, like I know the guy that makes these, like they know them intricately.
It's not just that, these are the people, a lot of these shop owners are on the circuit themselves.
Exactly.
Some of them performing to quite a high level, and not only do they all use the kit themselves, I hope, especially since a lot of them got good prices on personal kit. Not only do they use the kit themselves, but they see other people winning with the kit, and I think that is why they have faith in it. Is because they see the best using it, but it's still just as easy for someone fresh to the sport to use. Yeah, that's what I strove for making this loader.
But we're really hoping that Magload is going to go more international this year as well. There's a load of international matches. So if you've been watching the vlogs, if you guys have been watching the vlog videos that we started doing, let me know what you think and please give your input on them. What sort of things you would like to see included in them and talk about. But there was a video released where we confirmed that we're both booked for CISO 2020.
So last year, CISO is often referred to as a mini world shoot, and as I say on the vlog, there is nothing mini about it.
And what does CISO stand for?
Central European Shotgun Open. So it is the biggest, I want to say, annual shotgun competition. Last year I was a range officer for it, so I got to shoot it as well for free. The match director there is absolutely amazing. He put all the range officers up in a hotel, paid for food and things while we were there. We basically had to get our dinners and our travel, and that was it.
But you really enjoyed it. You had a really good time.
I had a really good time out there.
You bastard. Oh, it's great out here. Yeah, thank you.
It's a lot better than Sweden was.
Yeah, well, we
Serbia was good until the Trinity Burger as well.
Oh, but, yes. Oh, Jesus.
So as a range officer, I got a spot last year. This year I'm going to range officer it again, but I'm also going to sponsor the competition. We did sponsor it in a little way by putting some stuff on their table, but this year we're going to play a much bigger part, hopefully, in the competition.
Is it in Hungary again?
It is in Hungary.
Okay.
Where we will also go and see Guntopia, which is a shop which you will probably want to have a look around.
Yeah, I've heard a few things about it.
Pete Starley is an amazing gentleman, and he used to run Brownells UK.
Yeah.
And he was going to set up shop in Hungary, and he's got quite a cool shop out there which we should go and visit. But this year, because I'm range officering again, I got a spot. Because I'm sponsoring it, I also got a spot. So I asked if I could take another Magload representative out to take the sponsor spot.
So does that mean that I am effectively a Magload sponsored shooter taking the sponsored shot?
I would never sponsor someone like you.
Yeah, I'm too dangerous.
But if you guys have been watching English Shooting for years and you're fed up of seeing him, do watch the vlogs, because I make a much more of an appearance.
I've tried to deviate from just my ugly mug on the camera all the time, so you got his ugly mug as well. But I've just seen.
Quite frankly, I've seen your subscriber base just skyrocket since I've been on the channel.
It's sort of hard to disagree with that because it's true. So I've just seen a message from David Kiddle.
Oh.
So Paul Lewis, your day has just got even better, and you probably don't even know it yet. So David Kiddle has kindly donated £250 vouchers off of the 2020 2020 American shooting trip, so that could be in April or in October. To the belt winner. So that's Paul Lewis. So there's
congratulations. That's another prize of it you weren't expecting. We weren't expecting it either.
No, and also the 1522 winner.
Now we keep talking about the 1522 winner. Now I know a lot of the people in the chat aren't necessarily subscribed. So why don't we tell them what that's all about?
So yes, there's a number of people that have been talking about the 1522, and now that the disappointment of not winning the belt rig, this is what they're going to be looking at. So behind us,
this is a month of epic prizes, I think.
Yeah. So behind us, usually we have a load of guns for you, but this is a selection of some of the stuff that's going to be given away for the 20,000 subscriber celebration. So
which I helped you with massively.
A little bit. So if you've been living under a rock on the channel, we hit 20,000 subscribers, and I sort of lost my mind a little bit when we hit 10,000 subscribers. How can 10,000 people want to watch me, and how can 20,000 people want to watch
10,000 people are bored enough to have you on in the background.
Yes, and then, you know, the other 10 like your face for some reason.
Yeah.
So 20,000, a big milestone, and I thought we would go the extra mile. So as well as all of the sort of the smaller prizes behind us, I've been told that David again is sending a load of various swag and bits. So this is going to get added to, and the way it's going to be done is it's going to be run on Facebook. It really is the easiest way to run a giveaway and to do it in the fairest way. The issue with YouTube and running competition through YouTube is that you get a lot of anonymous accounts and a lot of troll accounts. And
well, they're saying that on the Magload giveaway, we did have this one guy who shared it like over 200 times because we kept on drawing it. Well, we drew it and it was him.
Yeah.
And then we started looking through to see if he'd liked and shared the page and noticed he'd shared it like what, so I would say like over 100 times.
Yeah, you can manage that a lot better on Facebook. So it will be run on Facebook. So keep an eye out on the English Shooting Facebook page where I'll be announcing the giveaway. But I think I haven't tied it down yet. It depends how much more stuff comes in, and it could be quite a lot. But I think I'm going to end up doing 10 goodie bags of a selection of everything we have behind us, as well as the main prize.
So I think the highlight of the event is probably going to be this.
So this is the main prize, the main giveaway, and just for anyone that wants to be anal bad at it, the gun is clear.
He's very bad at clearing guns when he picks them up.
So this is I guess the launch as well of the Magload Smith. So again, something that we've been talking about is actually offering a out-of-the-box mag-loaded Smith & Wesson. So you don't have to, you know, wait to get your gun and then wait to get all the bits and then sit there and put them all on. It comes out of the box with all of the stuff fitted. You know it's going to be right. You know it's going to work. And also another special element about this mag-loaded Smith is that it's in a colour that will not be sold. So the only way that you can get this blue is by being a Bluefield Sports sponsored shooter. But Alex has very kindly allowed me to use the colour for this giveaway. So it's a little special in that regard as well. Why don't you go around and say what is part of the giveaway? So obviously you've got the main 1522.
So the 1522 is the base gun. This is the sport model with the round handguard, which is the most suitable one that comes out of the box for competition shooting. It's actually a really nice diameter, great grip on there, and you've got pick rail all the way along the top. It also has its flip up M-bus sights, but I imagine most people will take those off to run something else. So we did talk about it, but we elected not to include an optic on the Magload Smith. What you do get, however, so you have our 30-degree ambidextrous safety, which is a huge time saver in competition.
It's rapid. So I always found with the 90, you have to get your hand off just that, especially with my dinky little thumbs, you have to release your grip a little bit more and really sink it in to get it off. With this,
it's a button.
Just flick straight off.
That's what I wanted to go for, because coming from shotgun, I wanted it to be more like a button. Yeah. Which is what it is. We have the ambidextrous oversized mag release. So this is an oversized mag release button, which has got two different styles to it. Actually got a lot of criticism on the appearance of the first one, which is why we redesigned it to be more in line with the appearance of the others.
People still like the old one, the honeycomb shape, so it's still available.
The honeycomb one was designed to be pure function. You could push on it in every direction, and it would activate. This one is still got a lot of directions you can push on it from, but it's still very usable. It's, well, of course it is, otherwise I wouldn't sell it, but it fits more in line with the aesthetic of everything else. We have the 1522 flared magwell, which is the best hands down, bar none, you can get.
I mean, he's a little bit biased.
I'm a little bit biased, but there are lots and lots of people who are telling me that they've had other magwells from all over the world, or they've made their own, and this is what they've got to.
The other really neat thing about the magwell is that there's a lot of starts in practical shooting where your gun is on the table. I don't know if you're going to see it that well from this angle, but when it's on the table, and imagine obviously there's a table that extends, you can faff around trying to get your hand underneath it, but the magwell ends up lifting it up, so you can get straight underneath it and straight onto it.
And that was a suggestion from one of our sponsored shooters. He actually originally asked for something specifically to hold the gun off the table, which is why I decided why not build it into the magwell.
Whilst I think it's just a neat design feature for the aesthetic, this cutout here, you'll all know that I have the 50 round drum mag from Black Dog, and this is compatible with it. So you can that from the same sponsored shooter, Van Ducker. It was a request to still be able to use the magwell.
We've also got the +6 round magazine extension. Now, because it's the Bluefield Sports Blue and it's quite a dark colour, this one actually has a yellow follower. All of our other coloured ones have a same coloured follower, so red has a red follower, green has a green follower.
But you just had a few concerns about safety with that. If it was a dark follower,
it's not so much safety; it's being able to look into the chamber quickly and see if it's empty. But it turns your 25 round magazine into a 31 round magazine, which is 30 rounds, which is your IPSC maximum limit, +1 for the chamber on a loaded start.
Now, the gun comes as standard with one magazine, but one magazine is never enough. So included in the giveaway is a complete other magazine.
And you can thank Bluefield Sports for that.
Absolutely.
Additional generous donation.
And that comes with the base pad as well. The last
there are two more things, because let's not forget about the rail mount breech flag. So the rail mount breech flag is included. This is our new design of it, which is slightly thicker than the old ones. We did have some complaints about those breaking, so we quickly rectified that. And of course, the star of the show is,
I think that the infamous
3D printed muzzle brake. Now, it allows us to put geometry into it that cannot be made in any other way. It is made to be highly efficient. It's optimised for both 2.2LR and 2.2 WMR, because they do run the same pressures, similar pressures at this length of barrel.
So if you
and it's super lightweight,
if you want very cheap, a chance to win this, and this is all thanks to Bluefield Sports and Magload, of course. If you want a chance of winning this, and the first genuine mag-loaded 1522 in the signature Bluefield Sports blue, then keep an eye out on the EnglishShooting Facebook page. And it will be open internationally. Come hell or high water, if an international winner wins it, we will find a way of getting the gun to you, law dependent. Like if you're out,
we're not going to post it in parts.
We're not going to send it out to North Korea, that's for sure.
Unless there's a legal way to send it to North Korea to a potential winner. I don't think you'd get a winner from North Korea.
Definitely. Would you not? Oh, because their internet's locked down.
Yeah, they could. They would.
If anyone's watching this from North Korea, please
give us a thumbs up.
Yes. But yeah, if you want a chance to win it, I wanted to do epic. Everyone, EnglishShooting was started to get people shooting, and the best thing to get people shooting is to give people a gun. So it will be open for all, international. Keep an eye out on the EnglishShooting Facebook page. But just as a quick highlights of all the other little bits that we've got to win, there are a load of patches. I am sad to see this one go because I am a little bit precious about it. But we've got stickers, we've got patches. Every goodie bag is going to have a Maglo 2.2 and 12 gauge breech flag. We've got official World Gun Owners Association swag, caps, mug warmers, t-shirts.
Exploding targets.
Yeah, I've got some of the big daddies. The clay Firebirds. I mean, the smaller ones make a big enough of a bang.
So this isn't all going to the person who wins the main prize.
No, we're all separated out. We've even got an Otis 223 or 556 because it's American, a 9mm cleaning kit from Otis, some hearing protection. And also over to the left, you've got a load of Beretta calendars and Benelli calendars. So hopefully, if you're a Benelli fan, you'll get the Benelli one. If you're a Beretta fan, you'll get the Beretta one. But I'm sure I'll be able to mess that up.
And if Ben doesn't come and pick them up soon, we're going to have a bunch of posters as well.
Yes. And actually, I still think we've got a load of CZ posters.
Oh yeah, we've got loads of CZ posters from when we saw the CZ shop out in Prague.
Yeah, so we'll include all of that out.
And t-shirts.
Yeah, we've got a Nordic t-shirt, a TACOM t-shirt, a Vortex t-shirt, some really cool Magload shot saver key rings, or the 9mm shot saver as we like to put it. And as I said, we've been told that there is going to be more stuff on its way. And David has just also announced that he's going to be giving the £250 voucher for a 2020 American shooting trip package, along with the winner of the Smith. So there we go, there's the big reveal. Keep an eye out on the post if you're interested in winning anything that's behind us.
Just a quick note to Gerwin Leg, hope I didn't butcher your name there. The 1522 giveaway is starting. You can enter it now.
Well, no, I haven't released the post.
We haven't released the post.
No, so it's not starting now.
It's not starting now, but you haven't missed the boat.
No, you haven't missed the boat. You'll still be able to enter it. Keep an eye out on the page. I mean, if you're watching this video, you're probably already on the English Shooting Facebook page, so make sure that you click like, and then you're going to get the post up when it's available.
I just want to answer a 1522 related question. Aaron Nethersole. Is there a barrel length limit in practical shooting? Could you shorten the barrel? There is no barrel length limit per se, not one that you can break because we're limited to 12 inches.
Story of my life.
However, if you're going to shorten your barrel, I would urge you to consider your ergonomics in comparison to the gun. So I have a 16-inch barrel on my Smith, which I find is just right with my 15-inch handguard. I also have a 12-inch barrel on my Tipman, which I actually find too short for speed still, but it's fine for practical shooting. You need to sort of consider what you're going to use the gun for and your ergonomics.
I went straight for the 12-inch barrel. It was fitted by Suffolk Rifle Company at, I think it was one of the Phoenix shows at Bisley.
Begrudgingly, apparently.
Begrudgingly. Oh, God, yeah. Like,
let's not tell the story.
No, he was a little upset that he hadn't had a lot of business. And then when I asked him to fit the... I was stood there with cash in my hand. He was a little bit like, oh, like, well, if you want the money, take it. But anyway, there's a video on the channel as well where I did an accuracy comparison between the 16-inch and the 12-inch. I couldn't really see any discernible difference in the accuracy, but there was...
It depends on what range you're taking it out to, but realistically out to 100 yards, I doubt you're going to see much of an accuracy improvement on a longer barrel. It's going to be more about the swing of the gun, the ergonomics of your handguard length, your acceptable handguard length, but whether or not you're running a brake, because if you've got a brake very close to you, you don't want to be putting your finger above the ports by accident.
Absolutely. But I've just seen an awesome volunteer from Julia saying that we need more female presence, and as Gareth Cooper has said, well volunteered, Julia. So Julia, there is space. We can shuffle up and have you on as a guest. I'm sure there's loads of stuff. You know, you're very connected with the Hammond Petersham Club, and I'm sure people would love to know about the runnings of a club. So if you would like to come and volunteer, you're more than welcome.
We have had a guest on here before. We had Crap Magnet himself.
Mr.
We're more than happy to have some better guests. He was all we could find at the time. We were talking to potential guests for this live stream, although we've had to put it off for various reasons. Hopefully we'll be able to get them on in a future live stream. But yeah, we're open. We're here to talk. We're here to answer questions, and we're here to show you some cool stuff.
And if you're watching this and you would love to come and join in with the live stream, or you think you've got something to talk about and share with the English Shooting audience, then drop us a message. Or drop a message on the English Shooting Facebook page. We would love to have more guests. Like, you know,
I mean, we're not picky. No one can be as bad as he is.
Exactly. Or Smerald.
Smerald was great, actually. He was way more entertaining than you've ever been.
He's just got such a charisma and a sparkling personality.
I mean, if you guys don't ask us some decent questions, I'm going to have to show you some new products coming from Magload.
Well, I've got a question from David Kiddle, and I can already hear Connor's eyes rolling back into the back of his head. Have you put forward any Bluefield Sports shooters for the Lantac 22 rifle sponsorship?
Well, they're already sponsored by Bluefield Sports, so...
Alex is wetting himself in the back.
All of them.
Any of the Bluefield Sports sponsored shooters are more than welcome to apply to Lantac for their sponsorship. I just wouldn't hold your breath. Moving swiftly on.
At the end of the day, they're already... Okay, so someone's asked us who has invented the ironing board. You carry on with the other questions, I'm going to find out.
Who invented the ironing board?
I don't know, that's a question we've just been asked.
What's an ironing board about? I mean, we'll happily answer any questions through the...
Google says Sarah Boone invented the ironing board. Ironing board.
Can't speak tonight. Matt Liddy saying more. I hope you mean about the giveaway. If there's more, if
there is more giveaway stuff coming.
If there are any company owners that want to donate stuff to the giveaway swag pile, then please get in touch. I'll happily give away your stuff.
It's not normally. So I know a lot of other YouTube channels go on like a begging rampage for stuff for giveaways before they go ahead and do a giveaway. This is stuff that you've put together yourself. Mm-hmm. You're more than happy for other people to add to the pile, but this isn't like a begging thing. You have a huge amount of stuff to give away already. Yeah. Like if you want to put the icing on the cake for the lucky winners, then. Yeah. Well,
the only people I went begging to was Alex and Connor's. So, you know, as Connor said, I've accumulated this stuff, and you know, it was no shock about reaching 20,000 because you know the numbers only seem to go one way. So I've been preparing for it. But yeah, if there's anything that anyone wants to donate to it, it's going to get shared out. It's going to get given away. We don't keep the stuff ourselves.
So Dan Smerald's asking about the JP trigger. Do you want to head over to the healing bench and take a look?
I think so. So if Connors wants to head over to the healing bench, Connors knows far more about triggers than I do. Maybe actually I'll come and bring your AR Gold over to you for a bit of comparison. So Daniel is in the middle of building, well, it seems like half a dozen different guns, and we had a little bit of a Gucci delivery the other day, which included a very interesting JP trigger. Are you set up over at the healing bench? So we're going to go over to the healing bench and have a closer look at Daniel's new trigger.
So here we are, we're at the healing bench where things are being healed, I'm sure. There's a water breach flag from somewhere. This is Dan Smerald's new JP Enterprises trigger. Now, I have a lot of respect for JP. They make some absolutely stellar equipment, but at the same time, I am a complete trigger snob. I did not like any of the AR triggers I tried until I tried the AR Gold. Thank you, Ben. And yeah, that has been the trigger for me. However, Dan has bought this and he has been urging me to have a look at it, so let's open up the box and see what we have. So in the box we have a plastic sleeve. Underneath the plastic sleeve we've got some tools, some grub screws, yep, some adjustment. So these grub screws, I'm assuming, yes they are, they're to adjust how far the trigger cassette is stood off from the base of the receiver. It looks like we've also got a different hammer spring in here. This is a yellow hammer spring, and it looks like there's a red hammer spring fitted there too. Let's have a look at that. So I'm going to pop those to one side for the moment.
Your AR Gold in the Smith & Wesson, so I'll leave you to it.
So JP have also supplied a safety here. It is a regular 90-degree safety. It is beautifully made, but I'm actually looking at some of the funny geometry on here. I'm wondering if they've supplied this safety because maybe there is an issue with compatibility between this and other or stock safeties even. Maglode is working on a universal 30°/45° safety for these guns. But let's have a look at the trigger cassette itself. It is a cassette style trigger, which means it's a complete drop-in unit. We can see at the base here we have two holes for those adjustment grub screws. That's super important if you find you're having light strikes, and it's quite difficult to tell outside of the gun, but it's a reasonably light trigger break. It's very crisp, very short, but it's not as light as the AR Gold is. It does have zero creep to it. The AR Gold does have a bit of, I don't know if I want to call it creep or a first stage. Now this gun has been, this trigger has actually been modified, so there isn't that much pre-travel to it, but as you can see there is some pre-travel there before it breaks. It's a very short break and then a very short reset, and that is what I love in a trigger. Very short reset, very short break, just like that. Now, it's hard to tell what the JP is really going to be like outside of a gun, but it's got a very tactile reset. There is a definite haptic feedback when it resets to let you know that the trigger has been reset. There is no take up at all before that breaks either. It's just there it goes. It is a lot heavier than the AR Gold, but most AR triggers are. And I do note as well, like I said, there is another hammer spring in there, so maybe that's for adjusting the trigger pull weight. Now, I think the thing that Dan really wanted me to talk about is this roller trigger. So these JP triggers have interchangeable trigger shoes. There is only one in the box here, so I'm assuming you have to choose the one you want when you buy the trigger. And this is, it's like a bolt with a plastic tube around it, and you sort of roll on and off of it. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if that's going to be a benefit in competition. Personally, I certainly feel with AR triggers in particular, I prefer a curved bow at the very least. I'm not sure what benefit this is supposed to give you. I'm hoping Dan will come onto the comments and tell us. But yeah, it is exquisitely made. It's clearly very well machined. This has been surface ground as well, which will mean that both sides are parallel to each other. Not super important in an AR, but definitely a nice bit of attention to detail. It looks like the rest of the trigger is... Actually, it looks cast. I'm surprised. I was going to expect some wire EDM or some machined parts, but this is cast and then machined. I can see the machined surfaces. I can see where the original bits were cast. It looks like the whole thing is that way. They're all cast parts, then hardened and machined. But yeah, a beautiful unit. I really like the fact that you get an extra hammer spring in there. As a matter of fact, these pins feel like they're popping out. So why don't we just... Does Dan mind me opening his packet here?
There's going to be a delay.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Dan, please let us know if you mind Connor's butchering it and taking it apart.
Yeah, I'd like to sort of take it apart and have a closer look at what we've got here. Maybe if Canon can come and zoom in as well, so we can take a closer look at what we're doing. So I'll wait for Dan to get back to me on that. But if you guys have any idea on why you might want a roller on your trigger, please do let me know. I'm not going to say it's a bad idea. I'm not going to say it's a good idea. I have zero experience with this style of trigger. I'd certainly like to put it in a gun and try it for myself to see what I think of it. Actually, compared to the rest of the unit, I'm surprised at the manufacturing quality of this. There is quite a bit of slop and free play. It really is just a tube over a bolt. Looking at some of the other trigger bow options, which are really nicely machined, anodized, various colours, I'm surprised they've gone this route.
You have to go ahead from Dan to take it apart.
Cool, so we're going to take it apart, which also means we're going to open up this packet here, because I want to see how it feels with the other hammer spring. And remember guys, when you're using a knife, cut towards your thumb, not your thumb. So let's pop this apart. It looks like these pins are just going to push out very, very easily. At least it did seem to want to come out when I was fiddling with it earlier. Yep, here it comes. Bear with me. Any second now, get a different size punch. Yep, out that comes. Let's have a look at this. So we've got, that's the hammer spring that comes with it, the red one. Let's have a look at the gold one. Oh, that is much lighter, so we'll fit that and see if the trigger feels any lighter after we've done it. But let's have a good look at this. So, very interesting. They've got a heavy undercut in here, which is going to be so that the sear can properly engage right into the corner of this engagement face. It looks like the hole has been reamed. That's really nice touch there. I'm not sure what's happened with the face of the hammer. It looks like it's been manually flattened on a linishing belt, because I can see a bit of a wow where someone's sort of gone at it and then changed the angle slightly. That's something that will easily wear out with use. Markings on the pin here, looks like these triggers must go through some sort of testing. So let's pop this other pin out and have a look at the rest of the trigger. It's a bit tight in there. I don't want to wreck Dan's brand new trigger, especially since it's so beautifully made, but out it comes. Ping! I love it when that happens.
Yeah, you're never finding that.
Yeah, never find that again. Right, so we've got, so we only get the one trigger spring in there, but there it is. Okay, let's have a look at this. That's again another very, very nicely ground face on the sear there. Lovely large hole for that oversized pin. quite a heavy disconnector spring. I mean, it doesn't really make too much of a difference when we're talking about the disconnector, but it's heavier than most would normally be. And again, we've got a nice ground surface on the disconnector there. Really nicely made trigger. Quite impressed at the manufacturing of it, which I would be. It's a JP trigger. They are very, very well made. Let's try and get this together without messing it up too much, though. That'll be the important thing, right? So let's get that in there. It's always distracting trying to assemble stuff on video, let alone live, because invariably...
You can always wait until later instead of putting you under pressure if you want to come back.
No, it's fine, I'm a professional, look at this. Bang! There goes that spring. I'm a professional. So I'm just popping this back together, because what we really want to do is have a look at the new hammer spring and see what that feels like. When we flick back to Callum for a bit while I struggle with this, getting this back together, and we'll come back when we're ready with the new hammer spring installed.
Right, we're back to me, and it hasn't taken me long. I've already replaced Connor's. So this is one of the Gunroom cats, Nala, who loves staying in our offices. So if you've been watching the vlogs as well, you probably noticed that we seem to be spending a lot of time in the Gunroom, and we do most days, but Connors and I do have a separate office. That's where I do film some of the other videos, but it's incredibly cold. It takes forever to warm up, so we've been ruining Alex's cozy, warm gunroom. But Nala actually joins us quite a lot when we're in the other office. She's got a little perch on her shelf. I've got to get it on camera one day and show you guys. But she loves it being nice and warm and snuggly in there. But yeah, she sort of moseys about and has decided to take residence on the table here. I'm hoping she doesn't start attacking the microphone as she has done in the past. And above Connor's banging in the distance there, I had a question from Aaron. Do Bluefield Sports usually have 1522s in stock, and can you get magload goodies in there for it? Yes. So there is stock of 1522s in the armoury, ready for its new owner, and Magload is based on the same site, so all of the Magload stock is here as well. And after the mad rush of the Black Friday deals, we've been manic in trying to restock the shelf, so we finally got really good stock of everything. So if you come to Bluefield Sports and you want to buy a 1522 but walk away with it completely mag-loaded, then you can do that, and Connors will be here to make sure everything's fitted correctly. But as I was saying with the giveaway Smith, it is a package that I think is going to be offered at Bluefield Sports, so you should be able to buy a gun out of the box, get a little bit of a discount on all of the parts as well, and it'll be ready to go. But yeah, get in contact with Bluefield Sports. You find the website, find them on Facebook, get in contact, and Alex will be able to sort you out with a 1522 if you're interested. And we've said it many times before on the channel, the 1522, in my opinion, is the one to go for. Well, I've just been given the signal. It sounds like either he's massively broken the trigger over there, has managed to get it back together. So we're going to leave myself and Nala and head back over to the healing bench to see this trigger with the new spring.
So thanks for joining me back over on the healing bench. As you can see, I've used the healing hammer and we've managed to get the pins back in there. Tight pins. Now there's something to be said for that. These pins are a very tight tolerance, and it was a very fine line between the pin going through a knot, which is why I need to spend a bit of time and a bit of persuasion on it. However, as you can see, we've got the trigger back together, and we've got the new hammer spring installed. And remember, always remember, your hammer spring goes on top of your trigger, not underneath it. So let's have a feel of how this is now. So this has got the new lighter hammer spring in there. Oh, that's much lighter. With, you know what? With that like zero creep at all, and that super short break, that just feels absolutely incredible. Dan, I'm going to leave it with this lighter hammer spring in here. You're going to prefer it much more than that original heavy one. Now, would I take it over an AR Gold? I don't know. I'm going to have to actually shoot it in a gun to find out. Now, I'm hoping Dan will come down here at some point and we'll do that together, but that is absolutely cracking, really nicely made piece of kit. It feels good, it feels better than a lot of other AR triggers I've tried, but I shall have to see if it can beat my AR Gold. But right, I think I'll head back over with Callum now, and we'll see if you guys want anything else over on the healing bench.
So I think really the fact that we have obviously standard Smith & Wesson triggers here, modified standard Smith & Wesson 1522 triggers here, we've got the JP, the AR Gold, a CMC. I think it might be time for a trigger comparison video. So if you'd be interested in seeing that, a comparison of all the different triggers available for the 1522 and AR-15s in general, well, we've got all the gear, we've got some idea, maybe we can put that together.
Did I hear you want to make a trigger comparison video?
Yes.
Now I'm definitely going to have to head this video up.
Yeah.
I am the biggest trigger snob in the world. Now it's mainly come from my background, which is Olympic 3-position target shooting, where, you know, once you've shot and...
Explains the...
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, but have you ever seen anyone else make that shot from 100 yards?
No,
exactly.
I haven't.
But yeah, once you've shot an anschutz with a properly tuned trigger, there is nothing in the world quite like it.
Oh no, she's going to break the camera. Don't do it, Nala.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
No, get away from my vape. Don't lick it.
Yeah,
oh no.
You know,
oh no.
I really like the sound of a trigger comparison. If Dan will let us drop his JP into one of the Smiths, we've got the CMC, the AR Gold, as you say, and even the stock Smith trigger is not awful.
It's not awful, but also I have my, before I made the really bad decision to put the CMC in my 1522, I did a fair bit of amount of work, definitely some kitchen gunsmithing on it. But
Yeah, I don't improve.
But I did improve it. It did feel better, and I also upgraded all the springs in it. So doing that comparison of how good can you get the 1522
So you can spend
trigger?
very, very little money and get a very good feeling trigger.
Yeah.
So Caliber Innovations, I believe, are one of many, many people who sell the upgraded lightweight hammer spring set.
Yep.
I would always go for an upgraded hammer spring set and maybe an upgraded trigger. Don't bother messing with disconnector springs. Do make sure, like I said, your hammer spring is sitting on top of your trigger, because if you do it right, you don't need anti-warp pins. And the other thing, which actually was something you put me onto, was putting a grub screw up the back of the grip, which helps take out some of the over travel of a trigger, which just, it will transform almost any AR trigger.
I was shocked. I mean, it technically is like a 20p screw, but because it's you know, it's imperial, it's American threading, they were a nightmare to get hold of. I still have the bag, the original bag of screws that I ended up having to buy just for the one. So maybe that can go up, if people are interested, go up on Magload.
We have been talking, there is a product coming, Magload, which will help you tune a stock AR trigger, so hopefully we'll go there. I know Tom says he's got a Rise Armaments. I'm sorry, Tom. In my opinion, Rise Armaments, CMCs, and those sorts of cassette triggers at that sort of price range are all fairly similar. Okay. The Elfman trigger is slightly different, because if you bought one if you've got one that's older than 2 years, take it back to Elfman, because they need to fix it for you. Well, Elfman had a problem with because they were one of the first companies to make these cassette style drop-in triggers, and they had a problem with theirs where it actually go full auto. The disconnector.
Why is that a problem?
It's a problem. It's a problem because it's an instant disqualification in a match.
Yeah, but like clinking down the range. Apart from the legal implications, I've just a question that I want to touch on. Bill Moore, is this stream just on Facebook? Yes. So I explained in the previous video, although I was trying to explain to you guys when we were having all those audio issues. But basically, we made the switch from YouTube live stream over to Facebook live stream because YouTube banned the handling of guns, and with the addition of the healing bench, well, we weren't able to do that on YouTube anymore, so we've come over to Facebook. Now, the last live stream wasn't uploaded to YouTube, mainly because of the audio issues that we had, and also I didn't feel the audio was good enough to put that video onto YouTube. From what you guys were saying at the beginning of this stream, it sounds like this is a lot better. So this will be available to view on YouTube either later tonight or tomorrow. I will be releasing it on there. And that's basically because English Shooting ultimately is a YouTube channel, and people that have YouTube accounts but don't have Facebook accounts for various reasons, I still want them to be able to catch up on the live stream. Another.
You just jinxed it. It just dropped out.
Just dropped out.
And then came back again. You're back on now.
Okay. We dropped out a little bit.
Well, stop jinxing it.
Look,
there it is.
No, we're jumping about.
I'm watching.
We are in the countryside. Maybe it's maybe they've been out there stealing the copper again. So yes, it might be a bit of a strain on the internet connection here. Although we do have like one gig.
We are streaming out, and both of us are streaming in to see all the comments. So technically, it's your fault the stream's dropping out.
Absolutely. Yeah. But another question from Bill Moore. Who's going to the British Shooting Show? Of course, we have to talk about the British Shooting Show because, well, it's only 2 or 3 weeks away now.
It is, but funnily enough, whilst you and I are going to the British Shooting Show, well, myself at least, I'm not going there for the show.
Well, no, I will be taking part in it as well.
Yeah. So, well, but you're going to be filming as well.
Yeah.
But Callum and I will be shooting the Airsoft Surgeon match, which is, as I'm told, an action air match that's normally shot to a level 4 standard, but it is a level 1, which means people without a safety course can enter.
And it will be the first time that, and we've talked about this on the live stream before, and I also made a video about it, but it is the Action Air Glock. I still haven't used it in anger in a competition yet, so that will actually be the first time. So I'm sure it's run flawlessly all the time that I'm out the back shooting it here. If there's going to be any issues, I know they're going to appear during the competition. And of course, you have your rig.
Yep, I've got my rig with my gun. I have my double alpha holster and my Charlie Alpha.
You should release that as a brand. I love that name.
But actually, really, I mounted these at 90 degrees after some heavy modification to the magazine pouches, and they have been running great. So I actually built this for the Malcolm Dowding Memorial match, which was a level 1 match that I shot the other weekend. And for the very first time in my life, I experienced disqualification.
Oh yes.
I was disqualified from the Malcolm Dowding Memorial match for sweeping myself as I ran back. Now, there is a video.
We could have like an action replay.
If we thought about it. There is a video of me shooting the stage, and it's very, very clear that I don't sweep myself. So you'll have to excuse me. I'm going to sort of muzzle Callum. But what I did was traced my shoulder like this, because I have practiced this many times, and I absolutely did not sweep myself. And there is a video.
That's what everyone says when they get DJI.
There is a video of it. But the thing is, in IPSC, video evidence is not allowed because you cannot arbitrate a safety disqualification. So it's the word of the RO. You can't really argue against it. If the RO says you did it, whether or not you actually did it, you're gone. So we had the video, we showed the RO, we showed the MD, but the disqualification, despite them saying, no, you obviously didn't sweep yourself, disqualification has to stand because under the rules you cannot arbitrate a safety disqualification. So what I am going to be training to do is making it absolutely clear that I'm not sweeping myself in any way when running backwards, and that I have my hand across my face almost. Because the thing is from some angles this was just too close to call.
Well, I got the piss taken out of me during the first level 3 that I shot, the first action air match that I'd ever shot, because there was one stage and there were 2 swinging doors, and you only had to give it like a light push. But I was thinking, my first sort of proper pistol match, what do I, what's the best way to do it to make sure you don't end up sweeping your hands? And someone just said, do that.
Well, it was me. I said, keep it as high as possible.
So I had it right in the air, and everyone took the piss out of me because I look like I'm doing some like Aladdin dance. But it absolutely guaranteed that I wasn't going to be anywhere near my hands. So yes, if you were trying to go after the fractions of seconds,
it's not even that. So what it was this was a manoeuvre you had never practiced, you had never trained. So be absolutely safe with it. The fact of the matter is this is something I've done lots of. So I got very complacent and I came very, very close. Now, while you can even sort of see it in the camera. I mean, Callum, if you look at me now, am I sweeping myself? No. The muzzle is past my shoulder.
It is.
It's past my body. From that angle there, you just can't tell. I'm sure it probably looks to you like I might be. I mean, I can't tell. The preview is very, very small. But
yeah,
as I turn, it could look like I'm sweeping myself when I'm not. But so this was complacency. So we told you to do that because you weren't well practiced at it. This was me doing something I'm very comfortable with, which I now need to change because quite clearly some ROs can mistake it. So from now on, I'm doing this. Someone at the match.
The inexperienced ROs could have a problem with it, so you've got to watch these things.
Yes, you have to be careful because an inexperienced RO is still an RO. If they make a call, no matter how bad an RO they might be, they've made that call. It's a safety DQ. There is no arbitration. So one shooter even suggests to me, grab the pistol or run backwards like that. And I actually don't really like that idea because you're crowding the trigger guard, and that's another very easy way to accidentally pull a trigger. But I've got this gun, so I'm just going to shoot.
But back onto the British shooting show. So we're going to be shooting the airgun surgeon match, which I'm very excited for.
We're not going to get disqualified at this one.
Hopefully not.
No.
But the British Shooting Show, it's one of the big shows. It's like, I'd say it's one of the big three now. You've got the British Shooting Show, the Northern Shooting Show, and the Target Shooting Show. But the British Shooting Show kicks it off every year. So I believe it is the 14th, 15th, and 16th of February at the Birmingham NEC. And I think if I read it correctly, they've got an even bigger hall this year, so they're just progressing it, making it bigger and better. I know the British Shooting Show has received a lot of negative press from all the game hunting, big game hunting and all that, but also that it's become like the shotgun shooting show. I've said it many times, I still enjoy going there and seeing all the familiar faces and using it as a catch-up, and the fact that they're running matches there as well, they're just trying to diversify it, make it as good as possible. So we will be there the full 3 days. We're going to be staying in the Crown Plaza Hotel, so maybe we could even arrange a meet-up.
We got a quiet dinner planned with a good friend. I don't think we want to invite anyone else to.
We're there for 2 nights, so we might maybe one night do a meet-up after the show. Let me know if you guys would be interested in doing that. Who's going to the British Shooting Show, and are any of you looking to buy a gun while you're there? But
I'm pretty sure you're going to catch them up on anything they miss, because you are going to be going around with the camera along with CJ. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of Gunroom TV videos to come from the show as well.
Gunroom TV will be covering it, and then I'll be covering it. You know, with the channel being shut down,
Gunroom TV is also covering the Airsoft Surgeon match. So
it is.
You're going to need to get yourself organised.
Yeah, I'm going to be very, very busy.
Or at the very least, get yourself out of bed.
Yes. Hey, I can get up early for the shows. I like getting up early for the shows. But yeah, very much looking forward to it. It's always I always enjoy it. And for everyone that has moaned in the past about there not being as much practical or target related stuff, well, now we have the Target Shooting Show up in Stoneleigh each year. So it's just, again, a great opportunity to meet up and see familiar faces and some new ones as well. Bill Moore, I might do a live stream from the show. We might have competition.
Awesome, go for it.
We might have to join you on that one. Wesley Hay, don't lick it. We do have a habit. You were licking a gun earlier.
You can't prove it.
I should have taken a screenshot.
So I actually want to answer a question from Ricardo Byrne. That you want to get into Action Air, but searching is a long, complicated affair. Blah blah blah. Right, Action Air is dead easy to get into because you don't need an FAC. You need a safety certificate for any level 2 or higher competitions, but there are more level 1 Action Air competitions than any other, or at least publicised ones. There's a big problem with clubs publicising their matches. But it depends where you are in the country. Highly unusually down south, there's the largest concentration of Action Air clubs. There's Watford, there's ex-PPC, there's loads of clubs in and around. If you want to know more, get in touch with UKPSA and they will be able to tell you where your nearest club is.
I got, following on from the British Shooting Show, we sort of touched on this. David Kiddle, what's your thoughts on the up-and-coming British Shooting Show and the sky-high dealer charges for a stall, apparently starting at £4,000? I doubt any practical dealers will attend, which will be a shame. Have you thought on hosting your own practical trade show? Well, we know that there will be one fairly large practical stall there because Firing Solutions is going to be at the British Shooting Show, and Firing Solutions is a magload dealer, holds pretty much all of the must-have practical accessories.
So the owner of of Firing Solutions only lives down the road from us. They regularly come up and go into our stockroom and go, we need that, and that. He generally tends to stock everything we sell in every colour, and he's normally one of the first to actually get his hands on new products as well.
Yeah.
Generally, because he's here when we're taking, when we're making them, and we can't really avoid him. So
yeah, but no, again, Tim he's very passionate about the sport. You know, he's a shooter himself, a high-level shooter.
Very high-level shooter.
A funny story about this, when we did a video for NHTSA, for the UK PSA, because of course if you're a UK PSA member you can go over to Northern Ireland, use the guns out of there, the UK PSA guns to do training. Really, phenomenal access for people into handguns now. But Tim was over there, and I got this footage of, it was like 6 targets all clustered together, and he shot it so quickly that we were actually asked to slow down the footage because it looked like aimless rapid fire. What I can tell you is every single shot was on target.
Every single shot was an alpha.
Yeah, it was absolutely incredible to see the speed of that guy.
For a revolver shooter shooting a semi.
Yes.
But yeah, he is an astonishing shooter. It was a real pleasure to shoot with him and to get some great tips from him as well.
Yep.
Sort of just spending half a day with him improved my pistol shooting no end.
Yeah, he's a fountain of knowledge, and he's been there and done it. So if he says something, it's usually from his own experience, not just speculation. So see, apparently I've got an admirer. I've got to say, Callum is looking very handsome this evening. That would of course be.
They say you look like Desperate Dave.
Look like Desperate Dave.
Desperate Dan. Yeah, that's it. That makes more sense.
I've been called worse. I would say that Holly is probably a little biased, as she is my girlfriend, but appreciated nonetheless. And Bill saying he's been wearing that jumper all week. It's a bloody good jumper. I love it. It's cosy. It's warm outside. And
it describes his current state of mind. Hangover.
Yes.
Dyslexic.
As I say, it's hangover in dyslexic. But Hargavor is actually, it's Cornish for rough sea. And shortly after New Year's, went down to St Ives, and we're down there about 18 months prior to that, and I saw this shop, and I decided to treat myself this time. So I'm getting the wear out of it. So
Aaron Nethersoul is asking what cartridge loads are used for practical shotgun. Well, the most commonly used load is going to be a 28 gram 7.5. Almost everyone uses it. It's a very readily accessible clay load that you can get everywhere, really cheap. Lots of brands make lots of good cartridges in that load. We're not really going to talk about that now, so put that away, please.
No, it's no secret.
It is, technically. I know everyone knows, but it is technically still a secret.
It's all in the backload photos. Oh. On the website. Oh. Everyone knows. It's all over Facebook.
But people will also use 32 gram 6, and if you can find them, the 28 gram 6 is also a good load. You generally wouldn't use anything heavier because it's unnecessary recoil for not much more performance, and you won't use anything lighter because generally speaking, it won't meet power factor, which is a minimum energy required for a cartridge in order to partake in practical shotgun.
I've thrown you with that. Why do you want to talk about it?
Because we're not going to talk about it yet.
Why not? Because we don't have to talk about the whole thing, but you can talk about what's already out online with it.
Well, technically nothing, apart from some photos.
Oh, it's so boring sometimes. Anyway, we'll talk about some other cartridges. I know that Paul was talking about it earlier. So Paul Robertson.
Oh my goodness.
Runs the. Well, I think we've shown these on the live stream before. But
it's absolutely nuts.
So Paul Robertson runs the World Gun Owners Association. So big shout out and thank you to Paul for sending down all the swag for the giveaway, and also some t-shirts for us as well, which I'm sure you'll see in a future live stream.
Yep.
But these have been sat here for far too long.
Is that buckshot as well? Is that birdshot?
I don't know, I believe...
this is buckshot.
I believe that's a 70 gram. It's around a 70.
Utterly insane.
Now, what I did say...
You are not putting that through my gun.
not when you're around. What I did say is maybe we should include a couple of special rounds in any of the giveaways, but... Paul is quite worried that these will actually do harm, so we might have to get you to sign a waiver form.
Definitely not putting it through my gun.
So we've just had it confirmed though that Alex has a Section 2 SXP 4-pull coming to the gun shop. So the reason we haven't shot these yet is because we're finding a 3.5-inch chambered shotgun in section 2, so obviously I can shoot it, and an owner that is willing to let it go through their gun.
Yeah, because it was suggested that a Supernova is indeed a 3.5-inch chamber, but yeah, no.
So we will be shooting those soon,
Sorry,
hopefully.
Paul, but that madness is not going anywhere near my gun.
But we will be doing a video at some point.
He says it's number 5 shot in the Burgundy cartridges.
Number 5. They're going to be brutal.
Yeah.
So we got Ricardo. Is that? Yeah, Ricardo. So again, sorry if I butcher anyone's name. Hi guys, really enjoying the live streams. I'm only just getting into.
He's the one who asked about Action Air. We've already spoken.
Well, that's why I read the whole comment, because you like paraphrase and I get all confused. Well, I hope you've been you've had that question answered by Connors.
If you want to know more, please ask. I mean, we're here all night for the next 15 minutes.
Absolutely. Again, if you guys have any questions or any topics you want to discuss, then please fire away.
I'm going to get this out of my face.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, Bill, you're very much right. The UK PSA will be at the British Shooting Show again.
Yeah.
If you're interested in getting into practical shooting and just talking to some experts of the field, come to the British Shooting Show, talk to the UK PSA. You'll be able to sign up on the day. Yep. They also do raffles as well. A lot of raffles at the show. So with some pretty, because they've got some pretty good sponsors.
Something the UK PSA do, which I absolutely love. They asked me to give them a Nexus 12, which I gladly obliged. Turns out what they've done is they've got one of each of the loaders available in the market currently, and you can go out there and actually try them all side by side.
Yep.
Which I think is great. It's a great way of selling mine because you use my caddy and it's the best, of course.
Absolutely.
But if you know, even if it's not magload you're interested in, just you can go down there, and it's one of the only places I'm aware of that you can try every single loader side by side.
Then also talk about the ins and outs of getting into practical. I get a lot of questions of, well, where do I go? Where can I find matches? Where can I get training of? And shout out to Bluefield Sports. If you're interested in getting your safety certificate in either Action Air, your short guns, your long guns, whatever, it's all done by Connors here at Bluefield Sports.
But no, not strictly speaking, not shotgun, because I don't do shotgun.
Not shotgun yet, but you can certainly come down and do any sort of training or experiences or taster sessions at Bluefield Sports.
So we offer the long gun safety courses, of course. We offer the taster sessions, as you say, but we also offer coaching for experienced shooters. Now, I am a reasonable shot myself, having attained Grandmaster status this year, which I'm very happy with.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But for those of you thinking, well, you don't shoot, you're not a Grandmaster in my discipline, or you don't shoot my discipline. Now, the thing about a good coach is they are able to coach you beyond their own abilities, and that's what we do here. We will be able to support what you already know and add on to it things that you may not have thought of, or other just good practice. Like some of the things that really set you apart in practical shotgun, especially when you're looking at things like marginal gains, are things people don't even think about, like footwork. Where do you put your feet on a stage? Come down and we can talk you through all that kind of stuff, even if you're a very experienced shooter.
And I can say it was actually Connors that got me quad loading as well. I was never able to do it. I always struggled with it, and you spent about 10 or 15 minutes going over the basics, and after that I've been able to quad load. Not well, but I've been able to throw 4 cartridges into a gun.
Reasonably well, and actually a lot of that is down, of course, to a port cut. There are some port cuts which are designed for loading quickly, some port cuts which are designed for loading easily, and you have to pick one, because you can't have both, unfortunately.
Absolutely, and I'm trusting Connors. I've said, don't ask me what I want. Give me what I need for the M2 for when I get my licenses back. So I'm trusting him. So it'll be the
first ever M2 pump action.
No, I'm ready. Just get it queued. You're going to see Bill Moore pop up in a minute. Up the pumpers, definitely.
Either that or buy a 940.
940, yeah. Daniel Smerald, Mr. Crap Magnet himself. Shot Show, have you seen anything you would like to see in hand? The Shadow in 10mm, the Gen 3 Razor, the new PSA Glock clone. The Gen 3
Didn't
Razor...
even know that existed.
Absolutely the Gen 3 Razor, I think.
I'm really not fussed about the Gen 3 Razor.
I think most normal shooters want to get their hands on it and have a look. We have been told that there will be one out in Kentucky, so I think that will probably be the first time we'll get our hands on it. We might even get one into Blue Field Sports. I know that Alex has one on order, and we've also been promised to be, I think, one of, if not the first people in the UK with their demo scope. So we're hoping to get that in as quickly as possible, because I know so many people are looking for it. In terms of new things at the SHOT Show, I've heard there's been plenty of interesting things around the Taran Tactical stand recently. Something about rings. So I could resist. But I know I haven't actually been. The thing is, where I'm in so many gun groups and follow so many gun pages on Facebook around SHOT Show, like. I cannot use Facebook because it's just post after post. It's like there's so much to take in. The level that the Americans take it to with SHOT Show. I know that IWA is bigger, but really, never having been to either of them, I can't really give a proper account of it. But from everything I see, SHOT Show seems to be, have the most there, the most interesting, most stuff going on, and of course they've got all the ranges as well, where you can go out and shoot next to Jerry Michalak with the 940. I'm sure they need someone helping you to cycle each round, but there's just so much that goes on out there, and I really hope next year we can schedule it in and get out there, because it'd be amazing to cover that on the channel.
Fingers crossed by next year we'll have a relationship with the US partner, and we'll have a good reason to be out at SHOT Show showcasing our stuff. Also a lot more employees by then. Yes.
Absolutely. So, I have to say the best thing I've actually seen from SHOT Show. That's it's getting too late.
Shit show, more like.
SHOT Show is actually, there's a time lapse of the Glock stand being built. Absolutely incredible. We have been taking notes for Magload. Don't get your hopes up for the target shooting show this year, but it's incredible. Like,
I was pretty happy with my stand at the target shooting show.
Yeah, it was really, really good.
Decent stand.
But yeah, they just take it to another level out there. But really hope I need to go to SHOT Show, and because of English Shooting, I think I can even get a free pass. So why wouldn't you? Oh, okay, 500 quid in flights and accommodation. Or
that'd be the reason.
But.
Because I said yes, and then Callum told me how much it was going to cost, and then we said no.
Well, if you're going round, so if you're going for Magload, you're going round to like proposition stands and plug your product, and if you're doing that, it's $500 a ticket. But remembering that SHOT Show, I don't think is open to the public, is it?
It's a trade-only show.
Trade only. So if you're going there to buy, I think the tickets are quite reasonable. But if you're going there to make those invaluable connections, well, SHOT Show know the value of those invaluable connections, and they put a price on it, which is $500. But I should be able to get free access because of English Shooting, and again,
you'll get a press pass. I'll have to pay Magload because we'll go there as Magload.
But it would be incredible to go out there and cover that. It really is on the bucket list for me. Keep the question coming in, guys. We are getting towards the 2-hour mark, but if there's anything that you want to ask in the final moments, we'll stay on and ask anything. So
if you want to see anything over on the healing bench, I'm sure there's plenty of things I can take apart in 9 minutes.
Putting them back together, on the other hand.
So I've been asked to change a PPQ firing pin today, and it's not the first time we've taken a PPQ apart. However, we did do a practice run yesterday, I believe it was, of getting to the firing pin. Getting to it, exceptionally easy. Getting that bloody extractor back in, it's like I need 3 hands, all of them 1 millimeter thick, in order to get this thing in. Like, seriously, your fingers would not get in there. This thing is such a pain in the backside to get together. I've got a little knack for it now, which I will remember for future. But it's
so fiddly. you have a lot more patience than I do.
Here's the thing: is actually the suggestion was to change the firing pin on the live stream. And I'm really glad we didn't. Cause it'd be 2 hours later just to be watching it going with this bloody little extractor.
So Wesley Hay has just said, "Great watch, lads. First live stream I've ever seen. Better than Love Island." So Wesley, thank you very much for
Maidstone Pistol Club representing.
Thank you very much for the kind comment. And talking about Love Island, that's actually something that.
You made a video on.
We made a video about...
Not we, you. It was a rant.
I subjected you a little bit to it. But if you didn't see the video, please go and watch it over on the English Shooting YouTube channel. Basically, it was all this... basically, threats of violence and all this abuse to one of the previous contestants who had been pictured with big game and was labelled, a murderer and bloodthirsty and all this. And I just wanted to highlight the fact that Love Island has been linked with the suicides of its contestants. That I think it was 38 people across the world have committed suicide as a result of going on to reality TV, and that actually the good that hunting and big game hunting and even trophy hunting does to conservation.
It is a conservation effort. So yes, the person going out to do the shooting is going out there to do it for fun. But the reason why the animals are put up for sale, as it were, and it's specific animals, they don't just go willy-nilly. No. They're animals that are selected because they're old or sick or
not always.
Not always. So it could just be population control.
Yes, But there's a case.
They're not animals which are in danger of going extinct or anything like that. You can't go out and pay to hunt a black rhino.
No.
They get poached, but that's completely different. And without these people going out there and putting money into the communities by buying these animals to go and shoot, there's no way that those communities would be able to protect the rest of them from poaching.
The money has to come from somewhere, and one of the arguments that's always used is, well, why don't you just use the revenue from photography? Well,
go on, you can tell about that clip.
Well, there's this clip, so there's an amazing video. If you want to learn more about conservation and big game hunting and the synergy that conservation and hunting has, there's a video called A Conservationist Cry. It's in the description of the video on the channel if you need a link, or just search it, A Conservationist Cry, and it goes around Africa and gets these different case studies. And there's one case study, I think it's in Botswana, where they banned hunting and they ended up promising them revenue from photography. And they're saying, well, we're still waiting. They said all of the villages had been decimated because they didn't have the money to put into it.
Someone's asked.
Okay, so Connor's getting that ready in a second. So, but basically, they ended up having to kill more animals because there wasn't income from the hunting. They couldn't go out and buy their food. They had to go and hunt their food. So more animals started getting killed. And then also
that was more indiscriminate because they weren't caring about what was sick or
they
what
were hungry.
Yeah.
They saw some.
One of the technical points in what you're saying as well is because the hunting revenue went away, they all went to farming. So they all started cow farming. And the lions started killing the cows, so they killed all the lions.
Or there's the case of the reserve, I think it was in Zimbabwe, where they started with like 17 lions and they got to over 500, but they do allow people to go and shoot them. But it's through that money that they're able to turn 17 lions into 500 lions. So anyway, this person got a load of abuse, and I just wanted to highlight the hypocrisy of it. I hate Love Island. Absolutely hate it.
So Nick Hurley has been asking repeatedly for us to get the dino gun off the wall, which is of course the Marlin underlever chambered in
4570. 45. It's getting late. 4570.
4570 government. A big old one. Now, actually, I think I'm going to start paying a bit more attention to lever actions, especially with IPSC having introduced the pistol caliber carbine rule set.
Awesome.
As we all know, we are not allowed to shoot semi-automatic pistol caliber ARs over here, which is typically what's shot. We are allowed 357, 38.
People are asking for a close-up. So before we end the stream, maybe we should go over to the healing bench one more time.
Well, I think Callum should take this one over to the healing bench because he knows far more about this gun than I do.
You're not taking it apart.
It's 4570. That's all about a no.
Right, I'll grab this. I'll grab another round and let's see you over at the healing bench.
Head over there. So Connor's going to go over there with the dyno gun and give you an up-close and personal look at the gun. This is, of course, the gun that's in Jurassic World, used by Chris Pratt, and also I did a little bit feature of it in the vlog. I think that went out even this evening. But yeah, it's a very famous gun, and I think Connor's is just about ready. He's got everything there. Yep.
Yeah.
So we're going to go over to Connor's on the healing bench.
Also, welcome back to the healing bench. We have the dyno gun as requested by Nick Hurley. As you can see, it is a beautiful short barrel laminate stock Marlin underlever. We do like Marlins because they're side ejecting, which means you can mount an optic to the top. It does come with these lovely ghost ring sights, and of course, shameless plug, is available from Bluefield Sports. Now, pistol caliber carbine is anything up to something like this, 357 Magnum or even bigger, but this of course is not legal as a pistol caliber carbine because it shoots a 45-70 government. This is a chunky old cartridge reputed to have a lot of power, and it certainly does pack a wallop. However, probably because of the slow burning powder, it's very soft to shoot, very, very comfortable. I do feel like this is a gun I could shoot all day. The butt pad isn't particularly squashy, it is a laminate stock, so not particularly forgiving either. But this is a nice cartridge, it really does feel good. Now these are live rounds, so I'm not going to put them too close to the gun, lest they jump into the chamber by themselves. But this is a brand spanking new gun. It's only been shot, well, it's not brand spanking new, it's been shot only a handful of times. It hasn't even broken in yet, and it still feels lovely, buttery smooth. One thing I always find really interesting about these Marlins is there is almost like a backstrap safety in 1911. You cannot shoot the gun unless you are holding the lever closed. Just an interesting point there, and as Alex always likes to say, they're one of the safest guns in the world because the safety is a hammer block too. Nicely made bit of kit, great fun to shoot, really, really lovely. Certainly wouldn't, I used to have a Marlin in 357, and I certainly wouldn't mind having another one again. But if there's anything specific you want me to show you in this gun, let me know. I am willing and ready to take it down to its component parts.
Yeah, it's not that way.
I'm looking at Alex's face as I say that. But if there's anything specific you want me to show you, apart from just how glorious this gun really is, I'd be more than happy.
It's such a good looking gun. The stainless and the laminate. It's definitely on the wish list when I get my FAC back. I might have to put it straight in there for a slot.
These ghost ring sights are lovely as well. They are windage and elevation adjustable, which is pretty nice for a stock set of sights that's supplied with the gun.
Someone has asked what's the barrel length on that gun.
This, interesting. I'm not going to be able to measure it properly just yet because I need to get a clean rod out as well. I'll give you a very, very rough measurement from the breech. This is... looks like 18.5 inches on this gun.
And Aaron has asked for quickly, are they expensive? Well, that is a relative question.
Yes.
They're around the £1,400 mark.
Yep.
And again, Bluefield Sports can get them in for you. I think for the calibre of gun it is, 1,400 quid is a good, it's a great price. Like, it's well made, it's a good gun, it's something a little bit special.
The thing is, Marlins have something that you just can't get anywhere else, which is the side ejection port allowing you to mount an optic. You can mount an optic to other underlevers, however it's normally a bridge style rail or something like that, but this one comes with this lovely Picatinny rail already fitted. Cool, shall we head back over to the...
Yeah. Get my seat. Right, I'm ready.
And we are back over at the main arena here. Daniel Smerald, not cheap, but is a beast. May want to get a 500 Smith & Wesson. You teased me, Daniel. You said to me ages ago that you were going, like, you'd had it approved with your FEO. I think you even got a slot for it. I might be wrong in that, but if you are like the first, I don't believe someone has actually bought in a Smith & Wesson 500 rifle. If you were, yep. I believe from memory you said that the issue was actually ammunition and that getting it was going to be difficult, and even if you could get it, it was going to be incredibly expensive. But please just ignore the money, get a Smith & Wesson 500 rifle. That would be absolutely
It's easy for you
amazing.
to say when it's not your money.
I know, but Daniel has no problem with not being poor.
In answer to another one of Dan's questions, would your Delisle be allowed in PCC, IPSC? Technically, yeah.
Yeah, please do.
It is.
Please do it.
It is an IPSC legal gun.
But yeah, if there are any last minute questions, we have hit the 2 hour mark. We do like to wrap up around 2 hours. If you do have any last minute questions or topics you want us to quickly cover, now is your chance.
You have 10 seconds.
10 seconds. Well, I don't know what the delay is. Like, the delay could be like a minute. Anyway. We will give you a we'll give you a little while to get any last minute questions in. But I'm really happy with how tonight's gone. Yeah. Certainly less technical difficulties than last time. And as I said, this will be available to view. If you're just finding it now, or there's something that you missed out on earlier, this will be available on YouTube. And also it will be available also on Facebook to scroll back through shortly afterwards. But
let us know if you like how we're doing these things. If you like the healing bench, if you like the guns that keep making repeated appearances on here. Absolutely. I haven't really spoken much about the Maglo Smith this stream, have I?
No, well, no, the
there's that, but Matt Smith.
Yeah, it features quite a lot. Maybe we have to give it a little bit of.
Although I'm really liking this thing at the moment. I'm shooting snake eyes with it constantly, and it's entirely down to the split slide, not my ability to actually shoot the thing. I'm going to do a sight upgrade on this as well, I think.
Well, that could be a great little video as well. But yeah, we're always up for feedback. So if there's anything that you think we could do to improve the stream, anything that I could do to improve the videos on English shooting or the new gun vlogs, don't be my number one fan here. But yeah, there doesn't seem to be any further questions or topics. So I think we are going to wrap it up there. Thank you to everyone for tuning in, for putting your questions to us, for getting involved, and for putting up with us jabbering on for 2 hours. Our quick question from Aaron: how much do those Action Air pistols cost?
Well, that one was a custom build.
Yeah.
That is almost a bone stock gun, and they retail for £140.
And again, that
is ready to go into competition. That is a gun made to shoot standard, because it fits in the standard box with not a millimetre to spare. It is a perfect fit. They've shaved down the sight at the front here. They've shaved the magwell off just so it perfectly slides in with the barrel parallel to the side of the box, which is an unfortunate change that was made a few years ago. I did like the guns where they only fit in the box if you turn them at just the right angle, but they got rid of that.
But that's why we're always massive supporters of Action Air. It's the cheapest discipline to get into, and it is very close to all the other disciplines. But there we go, guys. We're going to wrap it up there. Again, a big thank you. Keep an eye out on the English Shooting Facebook page for the epic giveaway with the mag-loaded Smith and all the other goodies that we've already been through. But I will be listing everything.
Can we give you away?
No. There's only one of me. You can't give me away.
Let's get rid of him.
And
it's a coup.
A big thank you to Blue Field Sports for hosting and again donating the Smith for the giveaway. And thank you to you, Connors and Magload, for joining in and giving your expert gunsmithing services and healing bench services.
Damn right.
But there we go. Thank you very much, guys. Really hope you've enjoyed it. And as always, we hope to see you soon.
Take it easy.